Hey YouTube, it's Jazzy Batman back again. This is a continuation or a follow-up to the caged video. So, as I said in that video, I was going to show you the chords out of the cage shapes, or maps. So here they are. Let's look at the C shape first. So as we saw, this is your C shape. And out of this one, you can get, you can get the 1, 3, 7, and 1. And those are, like I said, the functions. Because, like in the other video, we talked about you need to know what these functions are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you start here on the A string, we have C, which is the 1. On the D string, we have 3. On the G string, we have the 7. And then on the B string, we have 1. And then with that, you would take these chord forms and move the notes around, and then they'll create different sounds. So your major 7, lower it to the dominant 7, lower the third, and so on and so forth. So then that's a shape that you have that you can use to play. All right. Next one out of this position will be kind of a familiar shape. It's going to be the 1, 3, 7, 9. So once again, that's C1, 3. Then we're going to do dominant 7, and then 9. So you see it like this, and it'll extend out to the top note here as well on the G, on the E string, which is going to be a G. So then that's your James Brown chord. So that's that shape. And then you also have a familiar one here, which is based out of this shape. Is going to be your the Hendrix chord, the 7 sharp 9. So you got 1, 3, 7, and then sharp 9. So that's what you get from this C shape in the middle here. Now, if you extend it back and include the 6th string, then you have your drop 2. Now, don't worry about what a drop 2 is. Just know in this particular instance, it's going to be 5, 1, 3, and then 7. So that's your major 7, dominant 7, minor 7. And the reason I'm doing major 7, minor 7, and dominant 7 is so that we can use it in a 2-5-1, and you'll know the shapes for that. So that's that one. And that's what these 4 notes from the 6th string, 5th, 4th, and 3rd. Now you can create a drop 3, which is another voicing that we use a lot in jazz for jazz guitar. And basically all that means is you're going to skip, you're going to leave out a note, a string, and then add another string. So in the drop 2 off of the 6th string, we're going to drop the 5th string. So we're going to drop the C, and then we're going to place that C on the B string. So here's what your fingering will look like: 5, 3, 7, and then 1. More of an open sound. and that little dissonance because you had the second there on top, but so the same thing, major 7, dominant 7, and then minor 7. Okay. So then those are the chords that you can find out of the C map of the caged. Moving on to the A map. As you saw, it was here. So you have your bar chord, which this is based off of, which would be 1, 5, 1, and 3. Alright, so then, since we know this is 1, if we lower it, it'll be major 7, which will give us our C major 7 chord. Drop 2. Flat, lower that major 7 to a dominant 7, we get C 7. And then lower the third, get C minor 7. Okay. And then that'll be for this A shape here on the middle set of strings. Now on to the G shape. Excuse me. So as we saw, it was out of this map, we're going to pull out the notes 1, 3, 7, and 1. Just the same as our C shape, because it fits, it's like the same orientation. Because the guitar is an instrument of patterns, which makes things easier, but obviously, as we know, then there's different ways where you can play notes and chords, which is then the difficulty of playing the instrument. But so let's look at this chord. So 1, 3, 7, and then 1. Which you said it's the same here. And then same thing. So then based off of that C shape, then this G shape also has that James Brown Hendrix shape, which is the 1, 3, 7, and then either the sharp 9 or the natural 9. Move on to the E chord, or the E map. Alright, the E map. This one is where you get your second bar chord from. 1, 5, 1, and then 3. But then to turn it to a drop 2, we're going to do lower the root on the D string and lower that. This shape, the E shape, is going to be the same like note configuration wise as the A shape. So we got okay, and then this is a good one because well, like I said, the root's on the bass. So you're really going to use these a lot in like comping, like if you want to hold down the root, if there's like no bass player or something like that, and you're accompanying like a singer or like an instrumentalist, that's what this one will come in at. Same thing with that A shape. So for instance, we can do like a 2-5-1 in C. So but I digress. So we have our drop 2. Then we'll talk about the drop 3. And we said we just drop off this second string and then replace it on the B string. So 1, 7, 3, 5. Finger like that, or bar it across like that, whichever's comfortable. And then in certain circumstances, it'll dictate which one that you should use. So yeah, it's drop 3 and then drop 2 for the E map. All right, and then now lastly, we'll talk about the D map. So that one is here for drop 2. So you got D, I'm sorry, so it'd be 1, 5, 7, 3, which, if you notice, is the same as a C shape, the 1, 5, 7, 3, and the A shape, 1, 5, 7, 3. And same way, manipulate it just the same. Major 7, dominant 7, up, minor 7, so that's going to be the D shape. All right, so now that we know the maps for the C, A, G, E, D, the cage in the key of C, up the neck, now let's connect them. And we'll start down here. So the first drop 2, the 5th is going to be on the bass. So remember that one is going to be 5, root, 3rd, 7. Now when we're here, when it comes to these chords, then you want to move all the notes up to their next available chord tone. So in this case, we're dealing with C major. So the only notes we're working with are going to be C, E, G, and B. The root, the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th. So since we have 5, 1, 3, 7, we will move the 5 up to 7, move the root up to the 3rd, move the 3rd up to the 5th, and move the 7th up to the root. But right now, I would say we're in the this is a drop 2 on the low E string, 6th string, coming out of the we'll say the C shape. So then this is going to take us up, put that G to the B, and then this is going to take us up to our G shape drop 2 on the lower 4 strings. Because we got the 7, 3, 5, and 1. All right, and then next we need to move it up again. So, like I said, all the notes are going to move to the next available notes. The B is going to move to the C. The E is going to move to the G. The 5 will move up to the 7. So the G will go to B. And then the C, the 1, will go up to 3, the 3rd. So this will take us from our drop 2 in the G position, because the root's there, to a drop 2 in the E map. The 1, 5, 7, 3. Okay? And then now we have one more. So same thing, all the notes are going to move forward again. C, or the 1's going to go to the 3, the 5, or G is going to move to the 7, which is going to be the B. The 7 is going to move, or the B is going to move to the C, the 1, and the third, the E, is going to move to G. So then that gives us, oh, let me get that one. Oops, sorry. It's a stretch there. And then it'll repeat again an octave higher. So this takes us into a D map drop 2, which is the 3rd, 7, root, and 5th. There's our root, D shape. But on the lower 4 strings, you got a 3rd, 7, root, and 5th. So and those are going to be your drop 2s on the lower 4 strings. Now let's look at the drop 2s and our cage maps on the middle 4 strings. So we're going to start off with the A map. 1, 5, 7, 3. Like we said before, all notes are going to move forward. This then takes us from that A to our G chord map. And then how you know what the map is, as well as the roots, where the roots are. Okay? And then we go up again, moving all the notes up to the next available ones. Takes us to 5, root, 3rd, 7th. And then moving it up again. All right, and then this is in our E map. And then moving on to the next and final one on the middle strings. Takes us to our C map. Any of the available notes, the B, or the 7, 3rd, 5th, and root. All right, and then now the top 4 strings, drop 2s out of our caged maps. We're going to start off in the C map. Which you're going to have 3rd, 7, root, 5th. Move it up to the next, move every note up to the next available note. Then now take you to the G map, which is 5, 1, 3, and then 7. Move all those notes up to the next available notes. And then you'll get into the E map. Major 7, 3rd, 5th, root. And then move all those available notes up, and then they'll take you to your D map. Root, 5, major 7, 3, and then it repeats again up the octave. All right, so now that we have all our cage maps across all of the 4 strings, all of the 6 strings, up and down the neck, next step is you want to go through the chord qualities, mixing around and seeing, what you can create. Like I said, so we'll start off with a 2-5-1, major 2-5-1, So you want to know how to manipulate the notes to make it a minor seven, a dominant seven, and a major seven. We'll get into the extensions and the fancy substitutions in a later video. But this is the foundation. This is what you have to have down, because then you'll just build everything else off of this information. So once you know how to do that, because as I said in the earlier video, the different keys, they overlap. So even though I showed you all of the four fingerings for the drop twos on the different string sets, they'll overlap. So for instance, do a 2-5-1 in C. So we need a D minor 7. So we're going to start here on this D in the A shape. So then this A shape, or this D minor 7, is then going to have the voice lead, and you want to voice lead it smoothly, which means it just goes to the next closest available notes of a G chord, of a G7. So that's D minor 7. Then we need to go to a G7 chord. G7 chord, the closest one that's here, we already have a D, which is going to be a common tone. And then, like I said, knowing the notes and the functions of them help as well. But here's where the knowing the notes helps also. So this is, we know this is A, so then this is G. So then we have 5, 1, and then what were the like those numerical formulas for the drop twos? Well, we know one is a 5-1-3-7. So if that's D, which is the 5 of G, then we know 5, 1, 3, 7. So then that takes us from the D minor 7, and voice leads very smoothly to this G7. And then we need to resolve it to a C major 7. So same thing. You'll see, like when it comes to like the different shapes that I'm showing you, and the different patterns, you know, some things repeat. So if you know this is D, that D is going to go to the C. And then there was just, you know, the G7 in between. So you kind of going, and then you stop it in this, the G7. So if you're doing it in that, well, I guess in this, keeping all the notes, like no substitutions, you'll see, like I said, little patterns. But it's just, you know, just because you know this here doesn't mean that you can play every on the neck. You have to then work it out, because they're going to be different fingerings and whatnot. But that's just a pattern, and you see these patterns, and then that'll help you to remember, okay, well, if similarly, like, okay, well, if I need a chord based off of the third, and it's then you know, okay, well, that's this chord here. That's this shape, the A shape. The A shape is always gonna have the third on top, whether it's major or minor, and that'll come into chord melodies. And like I said, that'll be a different video as well. I can show you. But all right, I digress. D minor 7, G7, C major 7. And then we can go up to the next chord, which is this one here. And you will have practiced that, so you would know that that's the next one up. But yeah, because that is a point I didn't mention. Play the chords. Up and down the neck in the different versions, and then change it to the next one, so then you'll know. You'll know what they look like. So, and do that for the major 7, the minor 7, and the dominant 7. So then if we back and see again, 3rd to 5th, 7, and then root. Oh, I don't really. And some of these I don't play in this, I guess, stripped down way. You'll find different substitutions that create better melodies and lines to move. But you know, like I said, this is the foundation. This is where you start, because even though you may not use these exactly how they are, they might be one of the forms might be a substitution for something else. And like I said, we'll get in that in the substitution video. So the D7, A has to go to that G, which is the G7, and then it goes to the C, major 7. And so on and so forth. Then you move on to the next one. With the 7th on top, so and then D. And I would do that on the lower strings, the lower 4, and then the top 4. And then when you can do that, then you basically come up with some comping melodies. All right, so then next you want to practice playing them across the different string sets, like over a vamp, so that you can get comfortable with moving your hand to the different shapes and coming up with melodies. One of the biggest lessons I learned later on is that I used to think that there were like chord melody chords and comping chords and whatnot, but they're not. They're all the same. They're all the same. And you can look at this D minor 7, but this is a voice. So you can look at it as bass, tenor, alto, soprano, and you can move these voices. You don't want to get stuck and just playing a grip. So you can only just play that. And that's the only sound you have. You want to look at it as, okay, well, let me move this melody, this top note. And I'm moving it within the notes of the key. Going up to the high E, the string. So by doing that, you will already be ahead of the game when it comes to chord melodies. So then when you see like a note voiced, well, a melody note like F, then you'll know like, okay, well, there's a D chord is the harmony and F is the melody note. Okay, well, that's the third D, so. And then that's how you would harmonize your chord melody. Or if you're playing like a solo guitar, or you just want to add some color to your comping. Let me put this on. Then you can move these melody notes around. Like that. Or of course I snuck in that drop 3, but we'll get to those. But that's basically what you want to do. And then when you get your substitutions, it'll be so what I was doing there is I did use some substitutions, but it was still like drop twos that I was using, but just moving around the neck because you don't want to be stuck here just playing. You know, you want to be able to move around. So I went up, so you can go, and then here's the fun part because I mean you can switch wherever you want to, but you can go up to. That was over the D minor, and then to the G7, it could be. And then to the 1. Or. So it's up to you how you want to go up there. And then you'll find fingerings that'll fit, and maybe some of them you might not use because you'll do substitutions or whatnot. Because like if you saw when I went with the D minor, I went. Now this is I'm playing the F major 7 over that because it's a substitution, but that's a lot more comfortable than going to hit that just the regular D minor 7. This makes it into this voicing turns into a D minor 9. So it gives it that sound. And then that's easier to grip. And I can go to. But yeah. But so just, you know, work this stuff out. Take your time. At first, it's gonna be basic. Because you need to see how you can voice lead these notes. And then you move up to the next position. This would be A, so and move up to the next position, and then you'll connect them, and then you'll see where the notes are, and you'll be familiar with it. So then it'll set you free, and you can just move how you want to move, and how the melody in your head dictates how you should move up and down or across the neck, how you see fit. So just take your time, work them out. First, practice it in one position, and just keep going until your hands are comfortable, and you can just. Move those melody notes, which also helps you to see the neck better as well. So yeah, great stuff, foundational material that you'll need to help open up the fingerboard so you can see what's going on. And then it's just another part of the house that Jazz built. And then we'll put on top of that, like I said, the substitutions, then your scales and your arpeggios, but they're built off of these caged maps and these chords, everything. So that's why you need to get this down. Get it down in one position, and then go to the next position, get it down there, into all 4 positions, and then jump around to so then maybe when it's playing, you play so that. I said, that's a tough one. I don't play that one. If I'm a jump around, I probably play this. Or and leave out some notes, because that's really what all the chords are going to be. They're either adding notes or taking away notes, and you'll see that the farther that you progress in this. But yeah, and I don't keep saying it, but you start in one position, work your 2-5-1 there, working in all the positions, then jump around and see if you can switch to the different positions each. Maybe you see if you can jump up and go through all four while still in the chord. So like in D, see if you can hit all the D's. But still, try to make it musical. Make it musical, because that's what you want to practice. You want to practice music at all times. So if it's starting to sound mechanical and it doesn't sound good, then don't play it like that. But jump around so that you have freedom to move around, and then go to the next string set and start over again, and do those in the one position, and then go to the next position, and then tie them all together and move around. That is what I did, and I should have said that, but I would move around to the next position. So if I'm here, then I would move to this one, and then try to tie that one in. So maybe jump from here, and then jump up. And like that, and then tie then that position to the next one, because you just, as I keep saying, you want it seamless. You want there to be no blind spots on the fingerboard for you, on the fretboard, and you can play chords and move these 2-5-1s and either string set up and down or across the neck. So have fun with that, make music, and I'll see you guys in the next one.